Divine Feminine, the ancestors are congratulating you on healing from this union. Divine Masculine, the ancestors are warning you to be cautious about this reunion. Okay, so I recorded this video. Well, I started recording this video like 2 days ago and accidentally deleted it last night. I was trying to do some editing while I was at work and accidentally deleted it. And because I don't have CapCut Pro, I couldn't retrieve it after it had been deleted. It was gone. Like, I tried to go on YouTube and go on Google and watch videos on how to retrieve deleted content, and I either had to have had CapCut Cloud or CapCut Pro in order to go to the cloud or to the trash can to retrieve deleted items. I don't have that. I have the free version. So I lost my entire recording. I did a whole two-part recording. Well, I did it in one, but it was 2 different parts, and lost all of it. And when I tell y'all, like, I was sick to my stomach because it was a long recording and it was so much that I had to get out. And now I'm having to like sit here and try to do everything from memory, because the dream that I had, I didn't actually take the time to write it down and put it in my dream journal. So Wednesday, I got a call saying that one of my coworkers had gotten sick and called out at the last minute, and they asked me if I could come work. So I worked Wednesday night, got off Thursday. I was super tired because I had already met up with a former coworker or friend Wednesday afternoon to go walking at the nature trail. Since she hadn't been in so long, we decided to go walking together. So by the time I got home, I ended up getting a call saying, hey, can you work tonight? And I only had time to take like a quick nap before I had to go in. So I was tired Wednesday. And then by the time I got off Thursday morning, I went home and like crashed. And I had like this very, very like vivid, detailed dream. So on my way to work Thursday, I did this whole recording giving a message to Divine Feminine. And then I finished the one for Divine Feminine. And then I got off Friday morning. Friday night, while I was driving on my way to work, I did my recording, my part 2 for Divine Masculine. And I recorded all of that. And then last night while I was at work, it was really, really slow last night. Saturdays tend to be super slow. It was really slow last night. So I was trying to do some editing. And somehow, I don't even know how I ended up doing. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was trying to clear space, because like I was running out of space, and it was giving me like this little error that kept popping up. So I was trying to delete old videos that I had already uploaded, and I accidentally selected that one and deleted it. And by the time I realized there was something else that could be done. So now I'm starting all over again. So I'm sorry for this extremely long intro. I'm going to do timestamps on this one, so anyone who kind of wants to get straight to the message and doesn't care about the whole backstory can just get straight to the message. I might just start doing timestamps in general, because I tend to talk and get off topic, and a lot of people don't want to hear that, which is probably why like people click off the video so early, right? But anyways, so for Divine Feminine, right? So I had this dream that really, I'm sorry, I'm chewing gum, so if anyone hears me smacking, I don't even know if I was just doing it, but if I was, I apologize. So I had this dream, very, very detailed dream, right, where this Divine Masculine is literally, he's sitting there, he's like doing all this paperwork. I'm seeing like signed, sealed, delivered. Like he had just got like this fresh divorce, right? And the woman who he was getting divorced from was like, it was almost to the point where she was like, she knew that there was nothing that could be done. She had like no fight left in her. And I'm not saying that to like brag or anything, because I hate to see anybody down, but this woman, she knew that the divorce was inevitable. She literally had like no fight in her. She just let it go and was just trying to be amicable for the sake of the children that they share, right? But this Divine Masculine was like ready for a fresh start. There was someone in specific, there's a specific Divine Feminine that he really wants to get back to. It's just, it goes in line with so many dreams. I've been having so many dreams like the past year. So many dreams about these divine masculines that have been wanting to reach out to these divine feminines, that have been wanting to talk, wanting to apologize. A lot of feelings of sadness, of regret, of remorse for things that have been done in the past. A lot of these divine masculines like wanting to make things right, wanting to start over, wanting to start fresh, but like being so afraid to even reach out, because for some of them, like the hole that they dug was so deep. It was so deep, but in their mind, they're thinking there's like no climbing out of this. And unfortunately for some of them, there is no climbing out. There is no climbing out. And the dreams, they vary, because in some dreams, like the divine feminine and divine masculine do not have children together, although divine masculine does have children with another woman. In some dreams, divine masculine and divine feminine have children together or have a child together. It kind of varies. There are some scenarios where there are no children involved, other scenarios where they are, right? And the ones, of course, like you guys can guess, where there are children involved are a lot messier. They're a lot messier, right? So for divine feminine, right? For divine feminine, I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, right? And I'm going to do timestamps just in case, like, if any divine masculines happen to find this and want to listen to it, they can jump straight to the divine masculine portion. Because for the divine feminine, some things that I'm going to say may be a little bit triggering, right? Because I'm hearing, like, for someone's ancestors, they like, this person took it too far, so your ancestors are going to take it too far, right? Because I had another dream. Where this divine masculine ended up passing away, right? He ended up passing away. So in the dream, there's like this divine feminine, she's walking. In this dream, there is a child involved. This child is like first grade, like elementary school, like kindergarten, first grade. Child is extremely young. So the mom is like walking the child to school. There's like a slight hill to get up to the school from where the parking area is. So the mom is walking uphill. The mom gets the text message that comes through from the masculine's mother, who says, you know, my son has passed away. And it specifically said at the age of 39. And it said he is now with the ancestors, right? So then this divine feminine looks up in the sky and the clouds part, and there is this rainbow of light that comes through, and then there is this parade of ancestors that are going by. This just parade of ancestors who are rejoicing, who are celebrating, right? And then the mother looks at her child and says, hey, look up. And the child in this dream was a female. And the child looks up and was like, oh, I see it. And then after that, the clouds, you know, go back and you can't see it anymore. But like the energy that is giving, it's like it's two different energies. For one person, or for one group, I'll say, the ancestors parading are celebrating. Like if you're someone and you and your divine masculine have kind of cleared the air, if y'all have had the opportunity, because I also had a dream of a divine masculine who was on his deathbed, who was trying to make amends and was reaching out and apologizing, trying to clear his karma. Unfortunately, and like I said, this may be triggering for some because it depends on your spiritual beliefs. But unfortunately, like this person did not fully clear their karma in time, and their passing away was actually a part of their karmic debt that they had to pay their karmic debt with their life because they just weren't doing it accurately here on earth. So this person called and tried to clear the air before they passed away, and this person was able to successfully doing that by being completely open and honest, and I'll get to that in a second. And them passing away was the ancestors kind of letting this divine feminine know that, you know, this person's karma has been cleared. We're celebrating, we're rejoicing. You know what I mean? Like this person's going to be okay. Now, on the other end, for those who are building up this karmic debt and refuse to make amends, who refuse to apologize, who refuse to make it right, they are literally taking it to their grave. And by that, I mean they are taking this karma, they are taking this karmic debt to their grave. And for those, the ancestors are parading and rejoicing, one, because this person is now passed away and is getting ready to serve out their karma in spiritual jail. So they're going to have to deal with the ancestors. They're going to have to deal with the ancestors on the other side because they couldn't get it right the many opportunities they had here on earth. But the ancestors are rejoicing because for someone, and this is a part that's going to be a little bit triggering, for someone, this person passing away is going to have a huge impact, a positive impact on your healing, right? I don't know a nice way to put that other than just to say that with this person being gone, you're no longer like, for specifically in this dream, because this woman had a child, right? And this person that passed away also had children. This is like a divine feminine. This is a divine feminine who went through a lot of turmoil with this divine masculine. This is the divine feminine. This is one of those scenarios, y'all, and I hate to say this, and I hate that this is even a thing that exists, but with people, there's always going to be something that exists regardless of how bizarre it is, right? But this is the type of masculine who only does for the children of the woman that he's with, right? So because you, divine feminine, and this masculine were no longer together, he decided that he was not going to do for your child or children. But on the reverse end, he's like dad of the year to the children of the woman who he's actually in a relationship with, right? This is the type of person who's like, especially at times when you're dating or you're trying to get out there and date, this is the type of masculine who's like, oh, well, since you got a boyfriend, let him pay, you know, for the child's after school care, or let him pay for the child's school supplies, or let him pay, you know, for the child's clothes and shoes. Since you want to be with him, let him do it, even though this is like your whole flesh and blood, right? This is that type of this is the type of masculine where you had to sit there and watch this person literally be like father of the year to his other children while he did nothing for yours, right? This is a type of masculine who, and like it kept giving heavy competition, like runner chaser. This is the type of masculine who, and y'all know what's funny, just to like break away for a second, anytime you're in a relationship with someone and that person is constantly speaking negatively on their ex, especially if it's like, because if it's just a plain ex they have no ties with, then if they're continually talking about their ex, that's a red flag to begin with, because why are you even still bringing this person up, right? But if the person, their ex, is someone that they have children with, if this person is either always speaking down about this person, even though like this person has not shown any real signs of being like this horrible person that they say, but they're always saying like, oh, well, you don't know how they really are. You don't know how she really is. You don't know what she's like behind closed doors, right? Or the type of person who is like constantly making excuses, or the exact opposite, a person who could have like a complete trash ex, but they're always making excuses for them. You know, anytime, and I'm hearing like the previous is like what more people go through, but anytime this person is like constantly trashing their ex, 9 times out of 10 it's because they're still in love with that person, right? They're still in love with that person. This is the type of like divine masculine who tried to put you in competition. This is the type of divine masculine who wanted to be with you, divine feminine, but because you weren't giving them either the attention or the play that they wanted, what they did was they went and found, for a lot of people, I'm getting, this is like someone from their past. This is an ex from their past who they dated and things didn't work out, but they went and recycled this ex. May have even been someone that you had an issue with in the past, but they went and like literally recycled this ex in an attempt to like get under your skin. and this person like flaunted their relationship in your face, especially if you have children together. This person was like telling people like, oh, you're just jealous because they moved on and they have someone new. If you're someone and you unfortunately had to put your child's father on child support because he refused to step up and be financially responsible, this is someone who's like, oh, you know, my child's mother only put me on child support because this is someone who every opportunity they got, they drug your name through the mud. Every opportunity they got. So even when you tried to move on, you just, it was always something else. And it would be like the times where you tried to move on, where you tried to do better. It's like the times that they would strike, right? This is the type of person where like if say if y'all had plans to do like pick up and drop off, this is the type of person who would say, oh, meet me at the Chevron here at 5:00 p.m. and then would never show up. And let's say you're calling and texting. They're either completely ignoring all of your calls, all of your texts, or they'll pick up with an attitude and be like, something happened, something changed, you know, I had an emergency, something like that. And then, let's say because I've seen someone do this where they like didn't show up. Me and this friend had plans to go somewhere, quick anecdote, and they were supposed to be meeting with their child's father to do like pick up drop off, and he didn't show up. So they called to say, hey, what's going on? Like, you're late. Like, I don't want to say we waited a good like 45 minutes. Like, it was almost an hour. And she was like, you know, is everything okay? This man started going off like, I had an emergency. You don't know what's going on in my life. You know, everything is not always about you. Like, wait a minute. Like, who said anything about me? Your kids, sir. Your kids are sitting here waiting and they're excited to see, especially because she had 2 boys. She had 2 twin boys. Like, they were excited to spend the weekend with their father. They're asking, hey, where's dad? It has nothing to do with me. And he was like, I had an emergency. And she was like, well, oh, why didn't you just call and say that? I don't have to tell you what's going on. It's none of your business. I don't have to tell you what's going on. And she was like, I didn't say you had to tell me what it was. Just call and tell me that something came up. I'm not going to be able to make it. Like, what are you? It was so ridiculous. But like, I'm getting like, this is the type of energy that you had to deal with this person, where this person would literally tell you, meet me here at this time, and then would not show up and would make you seem like you're the problem if you got upset about it. Like, just a nasty individual, right? So this is the type of energy that this person is giving. And the thing about it is like, there's so much turmoil. This person has literally, this divine masculine has dug a hole so deep. You know what I mean? And even for the ones who don't have children, right? For the ones who, the divine masculine, they have children, but you don't have children with the divine masculine. This divine masculine was doing things like, okay, let's say on this, and even if you do have children, but this is like one of the scenarios where he's like telling his new partner that like, oh, my ex is just jealous. She's just jealous because you won, because I chose you, and she's mad because I didn't choose her. And I mean, to the point where this person has like this other woman high stepping, to the point where this man has this other woman going around saying, yes, she just won't let go. She's treating him like that because she's just like, anytime you would get upset, he would always flip the story. When he went back to his family, when he went back to his significant other, when he went back to his friends, he would flip the story and just be like, see how she talks to me, see how she does this, she's just jealous, she's just mad because I didn't choose her, because I picked someone else. Oh, I mean, just ridiculous, just plain ridiculous, right? This person, I cannot, if I sound like I'm just like talking so loudly, it's because the frustration, I could not, right? So this is like the type of energy where this person gave. So this person coming back and trying to apologize, it's like, yeah, it's going to be a no for me. It's going to be a no for me. So with all of the things, and this is like a divine feminine where this connection has been so toxic. And this connection has been so draining that this has actually prevented you from being able to move forward, right? This is someone who I'm getting like nice guys are red flags for you, right? This is someone who is like, when I met this person, he was so nice, he was so sweet, he did everything right. I had no idea that he was going to turn out like, when people say like, oh, why didn't you choose better? Why didn't you choose better? This is like the type of divine feminine who's like, I had no idea. I thought I had, like, literally, I thought I had chose better. I had no idea that he was going to turn out like this. Like, how could I have known? He showed all the signs of being like this great guy. How could I have known that he was going to like flip the script? And this is like, one of those scenarios where anytime this divine feminine meets a good guy, anytime you meet a good guy, that good guy becomes a red flag for you. Because now in your mind, you're like, is this real? Like, is this real? Is he really a good guy? Or is he gonna like pull off? I'm hearing I'm seeing like the mask, right? Like the mask. Is he gonna like pull off the mask and be like this completely different person? Like, I can't trust it. So anytime you meet a good guy, it's like you're trying to find red flags. You're like looking for any red flag that you can find, and you end up self-sabotaging. And this is also the type of person that when you date someone who has obvious red flags, you accept it. And you accept it because you're like, hey, this person has red flags. This person has X, Y, Z going on. At least with this person, I know what I'm getting into up front, right? And even though people are like, don't date him, you know, this, and the third, you're like, well, at least this person is honest. At least I know what I'm getting into up front. And I don't have to worry about this person switching up on me later, as backwards as that sounds. But this connection was so toxic for you that it prevented you from being able to move on and have a happy, healthy relationship. So for some people, like I said, I don't know how to put this in like appropriate terms, but for some people, this person's passing is finally going to be the release that you need in order for you to move on and move forward, right? And for some of y'all, with the whole children scenario, and I hate to say this as well, but I can't not say it. For some of y'all who are in like this dynamic where you have a child with this person and he's not there for your child, but he has a child with, or children with, another woman, and he's like actively in those children's lives. For some of y'all, a part of you kind of getting like your liberation is going to be you seeing now this other woman who was high stepping, who said that she won, who was talking about how you're just jealous of her, who you're just, you're mad because she won, because he picked her. Now she's going to have to walk, not even a mile. She's going to have to walk miles in your shoes, because you may have been a single mom to like one or two, but she's going to have to be a single mom to, I'm hearing like 3 or 4, right? And she's going to have to see exactly how it feels, to be on the other side of the fence, right? So I hate to say it, but I really don't know an appropriate way to say it, that for some people, this man's passing is going to be, it's going to be what's going to finally allow you to heal and let go. And for some people, it's going to take this person no longer walking this earth to be that. And for some people, especially y'all, because I'm hearing Metatron. I was about to say Archangel Michael, but for some of y'all who have like these deities and y'all have these archangels that are in your energy, that are watching over you, that are on your spiritual team, they are like, look, this person has to go because you've been down. I've been put down, talked about out my friend's mouth. What is it? Till he turned my life around. This Fighting Temptation, I forget the name of the song, but it was on Fighting Temptations, the movie with Cuban Gooding and Beyonce, right? But I'm getting, this is what it's gonna take in order for you to turn your life around. And for some of these masculines, because they refuse to grow up, because they refuse to heal because they refuse to do the right thing, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go, point blank and period. You gotta go, right? Spirit is like, you have to go. So that I'm sorry, it sounds so bad, because it seems like you would be able to work something out before it got to that point, right? And for some of these masculines, especially, I'm hearing like mom, like someone's mom woke up spiritually, right? Be it like a health scare, or just, getting older and just looking into alternative, things. Somebody's mom went down this spiritual rabbit hole that led them to spirituality. And as a result of that, someone's mom, because they woke up spiritually, saw that they had pushed their son towards a karmic and pushed their son away. Like, this is the type of mom who complains. This is the type of mom who, said, oh, you weren't good enough for my son. He deserves better. This is the type of mom where, like, even if she didn't like the woman that he's with, she like pretended to praise this woman, just for the simple matter of the fact that this woman is not you, because she wanted her son with someone other than you, right? This is the type of woman who wanted you to be a single mom. This is the type of woman where, for whatever reason, she didn't like you. You didn't fit the mold of what she thought a good woman should be. For some of you, I'm getting that you may have rejected her son for someone else. I'm hearing like more money. The more money we come across, right? For someone, you may have rejected her son for someone either with more money, or someone that was in school trying to get an education, someone that had something more going for themselves. And this like pissed the mom off. So she's like trying to tell her son that, oh, she's just a gold digger. She don't know what's really important. And she did everything. And like, her main goal was, because you didn't pick her son, because you thought you were quote unquote too good for her son. And this is someone I'm getting where like you and the mom didn't get along anyway. It's like y'all just had different ideologies. Y'all had different morals, different standards. You might have come from a family where, like, I'm getting college, where college was expected, going to college was expected. And he may have come from a family where it's like, hey, if you made it out of high school, you're done. You know what I mean? But this is the type of mom who felt like you thought that you were too good for her son, for her family. So because of that, she wanted you to experience hardships. She wanted you to be a single mom, because for the simple fact that she wanted to see you struggle. She wanted to see you struggle. But this mom is the one who ended up waking up spiritually. And I'm getting like locks. Like if someone's mom like used to wear their hair, I'm getting in like a lot of like weaves and sew-ins and things like that, and then out of nowhere started doing like braids or locks. If someone got their hair locked, this like may be for you, right? But this mom woke up spiritually, and it was revealed to her that you are a divine feminine, and the woman that she pushed her son into being with is actually a karmic. And this mother is actually telling her son and encouraging her son to make things right. This mother is like pushing her son to start doing more, to start being there more, to start trying to mend that relationship. This mother is actually the one who's now telling, like, let's say, for example, there are like some issues. Well, first of all, there are some issues. There's some turmoil in this marriage. And this mother is like telling her son, like, hey, you need to go speak with, and you need to go make things right with this divine feminine, because this woman is a divine feminine. She sees your abundance. She is able to see your abundance. She's now understanding why, after all these years, after everything they have said, after everything they have done, why things continue to work out for you. Like, all these years, they have been mad, they have been upset, because they have been trying to put you in this turmoil, in this struggle. And mentally they have been able to do that. But this is a divine feminine who's so like nonchalant that she doesn't even let it be known. And like, kudos to you, kudos to you. Although you're holding a lot of that stuff internally, which is, still a problem. But kudos to you. This is the type of divine feminine who, like, I'm hearing, never let them see you cry, right? And you've been putting on this brave face for so long. And in terms of like your success and financially, you have not lost any opportunities. Even if they were able to take something from you, something better ended up coming anyways. So it ended up opening the door for something better to come along, right? But these people have been trying for years to tear you down and have never been able to. And this mom now sees why, because she sees that you are divinely protected, and she sees that you have abundance coming in. She sees that you yourself, you are walking abundance. She sees that. And now she wants her son to have that. She wants her family to have that, right? So she is pushing her son to make him. For someone, I'm getting like, you could tell something was different. And like, this is how messed up this is. These people have been so ignorant. They have been so ignorant towards you that even when they tried to flip the script and be nice, all it did was make you even that much more distrustful. It just made, when they started trying to do nice things, now you were like, they must have something up their sleeve. And honestly, they didn't. What they were trying to do was make amends and clear karma, but they have caused so much trouble over the years that like you can't even accept a nice gesture from them anymore, right? But this is the type of mom who is like encouraging her son to go above and beyond. So let's say I'm getting like a distance. There's a distance. If you're someone who the turmoil was so bad, because now I'm seeing like police and I'm seeing sirens, right? And as I was recording this the first time, as I was talking about this, about the mom part, a police car drove, actually 2 of them drove by, and they had their lights, but they didn't have the sirens, right? So for someone, like, the police had to get involved. Like for someone, this mother specifically, because it showed up as I was talking about the mom. For someone, this mother called the police on you. So it was getting to a point where she was like really, really, really trying to get you in some serious trouble with like the law. So for someone, you had to move away. You had to move away in order to get away from these people because it was getting that bad and that traumatic, right? And for someone, you moved away and you're in a different part of the state that's like hours away, 2 or more hours away, or you are in a completely different state. And what happens is you decided, just being the mature person that you are, you decided that, and this is for divine feminine, this half is for divine feminine. So if you're a divine masculine and you're choosing to listen to the whole thing, because as I get to divine masculine, there's actually going to be a part that I have to re-record where I encourage you to go back and listen to the whole thing just to get a perspective on something. So I'm not just trying to sit here and like praise women because I'm a woman. Actually, because I am a female, I connect with divine feminine energy more easily. Like, we're all energies. I'm feminine, I am masculine, but because my feminine energy, my feminine is dominant, it just allows me to connect better with divine feminine energy. So I don't want to like trigger any divine masculines. I know there's so many readers who just go in on divine masculines and there are very few that give them any kind of advice or any kind of encouragement. So I am like sorry for that. So that's just like a quick little thing. But back to divine feminine. This is a divine feminine who is like extremely, I'm sorry, I'm parked right now. I'm at Subway. If you've listened to any of my other videos, y'all know I pull up the Subway quite often. But this is like the divine feminine who's extremely mature and who's like, look, I needed to get away. I needed to move away. I needed to do something else. So because it was my decision to move away, I'm going to make it my responsibility to do this drive, right? I'm not going to require you to meet me. Whenever you want your child, let me know in significant amount of time in advance so I can get time off of work, so I can make time for the travel, for the trip. But anytime you want to see your child, I will do the drive. You don't have to worry about it. And this is the type of divine feminine that, first of all, this person never calls to see their child anyway. So it's not like you have to make the drive that often. Maybe like major holidays. But this is the type of like divine masculine, or the type of scenario, where out of nowhere, this person is like, hey, I'll come pick up the child. And I'm telling you like the just uneasiness that sits, right? The uneasiness. I could just see someone being like, you're going to drive. Oh no, I don't want my child. I literally, y'all, when I was recording this the first time, I got the energy of this mother who got so scared. This mother thought that this divine masculine was trying to off her child. Y'all, I cannot explain. So many different dreams, so many different scenarios. This mother, right? And when I talk about scenarios, what I'm talking about is my dreams. All of these logs, these videos that I do, if you're new to my channel, I'm a dream intuitive, right? All of these are dreams that I record, right? So when I'm saying like I was told this or I was shown this, it's not like, well, sometimes they do come as visions for me, but very far and few. 9 times out of 10, it's from dreams, right? These are, since when I say like scenarios, these are coming from dreams. So in this scenario, in this dream, this divine feminine literally thought that this man wanted to off her child, because this was the first time in years. And when I say years, for someone, it's like decade, over a decade. This was the first time this divine masculine had offered to come pick up his own child. So when he offered to do the drive, this divine feminine was like, oh no, we're not doing this. This man is trying to harm my child. He's trying to off my child, especially because in that scenario, in that dream, this man owed like tens of thousands of dollars in back child support, right? That's how mistrustful this person was. But in reality, this person was trying to do a grand gesture to get in your good favor. May the odds be ever in your favor. Because this person was trying to get in your good favor. This person was trying to get in your good graces. This person's mother was encouraging them to do something grand to get back in your good graces. But because of the hole they have dug themselves in, because of all the trauma you have been through with this person, you could not even trust it. You could not even trust it. Sorry, this is so all over the place. It was way more put together in like the first edition that I did. And now, because I'm trying to remember details, because I did not record the dream, I'm trying to remember it. It's just choppy and I'm saying things as they're coming to me, right? But there were so many dreams. And for some reason, the dream about the divorce really it put it all together for me. And I was like, you know what? I have to come and I have to like talk about all of it, because these dreams, like I said, have been going on for the better part of a year now, for almost over a year now. I've been having these dreams, and I was like, I have to because it's all coming together, because the dreams are happening out of order, and it's just all coming together. And for someone, the divorce alone is going to be a catalyst and you healing, right? Whether you take this person back or not, the divorce alone is going to be a catalyst in you healing. Because for someone, this person, this masculine, has been trying to rub his quote unquote perfect relationship in your face for so long. And if you're an intuitive, so that he's not happy. You know what I mean? You know that there are things that are going on behind the scenes. But of course, he's not going to say that to you, and in your face, he's going to make it seem like he has the perfect relationship while you're over here single and, you're struggling. That's why you can't have a relationship, because mentally and emotionally, you're struggling because of the damage that this person has caused. But he's spinning the story and telling people that you haven't moved on, for the simple fact that you're still stuck on him. I mean, literally spinning everything just to make it look like you can't let him go, when you've done nothing but try to release this, right? So, I mean, just a mess, just foolishness, right? Just complete and utter foolishness. And the crazy thing about it is, like I said previously, anytime a person is putting in this much energy to get back at you, to belittle you, to try to, anything, to try to do everything to make you go through as much turmoil as possible, this person is still in love, right? And it's so crazy, because I had this one dream where there's this masculine sitting in the bleachers, and he's just looking at a high school flag. I don't even know where he's at, but he's just looking. He's sitting outside. I just remember him being outside, and he has this old high school yearbook, and he's sitting there looking at a picture of his divine feminine from back in high school. So if you met your divine masculine back in high school, this may be relevant to you. But this person is literally looking at your high school picture, just wondering how things would have turned out if he would have just been honest and told you that he loved you and wanted to be with you, instead of playing games, instead of putting you in this third party, instead of trying to put you in this runner chaser energy. You're the type of person that he tried to put you in this runner chaser. He tried to put you in this third party energy in order to make you try to choose him, in order to make you fight for his affection. But being the person that you are, all you did was walk away. Like, oh no, if you're gonna put me in a situation where you're trying to choose between me and her, I'll make the decision for you. You can have her. And her being I'm getting like I remember I heard someone say pick Misha for the first time. I don't know why I thought that was so funny, but it's so appropriate for this specific scenario. If you're going to put me in the type of scenario and the type of situation where you're choosing between me and another woman, and if the other woman is sitting here going out of her way, trying to find ways to make her look like the better option, then you are 100% a pick Misha, because you're sitting here basically like, pick me. And divine feminine, you walked away. You said no. If you have to choose between me and someone else, like I said, I'm going to make the decision for you. You can have her. You can have her. And this pick Misha thought that she had won. I mean, got her cake and eat it too. This pick Misha thought that she had won. And this divine masculine led her to believe that she had won, that he had chosen her over you. But what it was is that you said that you weren't going to play and you walked away. And this masculine was brokenhearted. He was brokenhearted because what he really wanted was you. And because it didn't work, instead of him just being honest and being mature and just saying, hey, you're the one I want, this man literally did everything in his power to try to make you as miserable as he is. I'm getting like Carly. Y'all remember Goosebumps, where this person, Carly Rae, put on this mask, and like whenever the mask was on her, it completely consumed her. Like, that's this person is really Carly Rae. He's really like this sweet person. He loves you and really wants to be with you. But because you rejected him, because you did not accept that half offer that he was giving you, he's angry. He's hurt. Really what it is that he's hurt. And his hurt is being masked in anger. So he has this mask that has consumed him. Y'all remember in Goosebumps when she wore the mask for too long, then it got to the point where she couldn't take it off, and it took like this, I forgot what she had to do, but ultimately it ended up being love that had to be to remove it. That's what it is for this person. Only love can remove this mask. They have been wearing this mask of hatred for so long that they cannot take it off. They can't. This person literally I'm getting sometimes just sits back and just thinks like, why am I even this angry at this person? They've been wearing this mask for so long, they don't even understand why they do the things that they do. They just know that for whatever reason, they are so angry and they are so frustrated with you. And what they don't understand is that underneath it all, it's really just love. It's love, and it's hurt. It's hurt from being rejected. It's hurt. So this person, like I tell y'all, this person, because they love you, they know they love you. Even their significant other knows that they love you. And I'm going to get to that once I get to divine masculine's part, right? Because there's a whole segment about that. But this person knows that they love you. I remember I had this one dream where I'm sitting there and I get on the computer and I go, it's like this, Facebook, like dating. Facebook had something where Facebook was like trying to cross over into like the dating apps, and they had something. I don't remember what it was called, y'all. I don't use that crap. I don't remember what it was called, but Facebook had some sort of dating thing. So in the dream, I'm like sitting at the computer, and the Facebook dating thing pops up, and this pop-up message pops up that says, hey, your profile is compatible with this person. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, who is this? Like, who is this person? So I click. It has their name and their date of birth. No picture, just a name and a date of birth. So I click on it, and next thing I know, I'm standing in front of this door. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I ended up opening the door, and I go in, and I'm in somebody's bedroom. So like, I astral projected, right? I'm in someone's bedroom, and there is this divine masculine who's on the bed. He's on one side. His wife is on the other side of the bed, and he's sitting there, and he's thinking heavily. He's thinking heavily of the divine feminine that he really wants to be with, that he's in love with. This is someone who, this is like I said, if you've ever listened to my any of my previous videos, I talk about like people who unknowingly do sex magic, like people who don't realize that when they pleasure themselves, or if they even have intercourse with someone else while they're thinking of you, or if they pleasure themselves while they are looking at pictures of you, that is actually a form of sex magic. But people who are not conscious, or in the conscious community or in the spiritual community, don't understand that, right? But this person literally was thinking heavily of you. This person is literally sitting there, they're on their phones, and they are trying everything to keep themselves from going to your profile on social media, because their wife is literally sitting right there next to them. And this is someone I get who like has been caught looking at your profile before. So they're trying to prevent from going to their profile to look at pictures of you. So they're sitting there and they're thinking about you. You are the only thing on their mind, and they are so in love with you. For someone, they are so turned on by you that they're sitting here thinking of you. They end up getting I don't want to say this, hot and heavy, and they turn over, they tap their wife on the shoulder, and she already knows what time it is. So next thing I know, these people like start engaging in intercourse. I'm like, okay, I don't need to see this part. They start engaging in intercourse, and this man is having intercourse with his wife while he is thinking of you. And the crazy thing about it is that the wife knows this. She knows this. She knows this, but she's doing it anyways because she's trying to be, do her wifely duties. She's trying to be like a dutiful wife. So she's sitting here and she knows that the only reason why he's even in the mood right now is because he is thinking of you, right? That kind of scenario. But this divine masculine has finally come to his senses. This divine masculine is finally ready. I'm hearing, like, was it Tevin Campbell? I'm ready to love you forever. Like, this divine masculine is finally ready to go after his divine feminine. He's finally ready to admit openly. He's been having conversation with his family, with his friends, and he is finally ready to openly admit that he wants his divine feminine. And it's so crazy because, like I said, it's been so much turmoil that even some of his family and friends are like, why? And now he's having to be honest and admit to them that it was really him the whole time, so that they're no longer looking at you crazy. And if this divine masculine is not doing that, if this divine masculine, because there are going to be some that try to come back like, I don't want to say this, like half-assed, right? There are going to be some who try to come back, but they're going to give an apology, but it's going to be half-assed. It's just going to be like, they're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Can we just start over? Or can we just, make amends? But they're not really going to want to get into the detail of like everything that happened. Because for someone I'm getting, it's so much deeper than Like, that this person has done things, this person has said things, but there's like, this person has done so much more. For someone I'm getting, this is so much deeper than right? And this person does not want to admit to the things that they did that you don't know about. But part of them clearing the air, because if they know if they're ever going to bring you around their family, if they're ever going to bring you around their friends, they're going to have to clear they're going to have to. They're going to have to. And for some of them, like I said, they've done so much, they don't want to. They don't want to. And for like someone, like I said, this person's passing is because because I'm getting someone out there is like, this person, yeah, they've done some bad things, but do they really have to go? Like, they've done so much more than you even know about. But Spirit is like, yeah, because the ones who are going to have to pass away, they didn't learn their lesson and they wouldn't stop. For the ones that are learning their lesson and trying to make amends, they are embarrassed. That's part of the fear of why they don't want to reach out, of why they're afraid to reach out, because they are embarrassed for you to find out just everything that they've done. But in order for them to clear this karma, in order for them to clear all that karmic debt, and in order for them to even have a chance at any sort of reconciliation, they're going to have to come completely clean. So, Divine Feminine, you know what I mean? If you do decide for all Divine Feminines, matter of fact, I'm not even going to talk about the reconciliation. I'm going to do Divine Feminine, I'm going to do Divine Masculine, then I'm going to put a timestamp at the end for reconciliation, right? Divine Feminine, for a lot of people, I'm getting it's a HELL to the null, right? Like, no, this person has done way too much at this point. Like, how would I even, after everything this person has done to me, how would I even look showing up on the scene on this person's arm after all of this? Like, no. But Spirit is telling you, at least have the conversation. Because for some of y'all, for the ones who don't end up crossing over with the ancestors, for some of y'all, this conversation, for some of y'all, that divorce, even for the ones that don't come back and apologize or who give that half-assed apology, the divorce is going to be a catalyst to you actually finally healing. And for some of y'all, sitting down with this person, having a conversation, this person finally admitting that the reason why they've been acting this way is because deep down they really do love you, is going to be what's going to heal the both of you. So whether or not you even, for a lot of people you're not even considering reconciliation, but even if you don't, the conversation alone is going to be a huge, huge catalyst in your healing, right? In your healing journey. So that right there, and this was longer than it even was when I did it the first time. That right there is the Divine Feminine aspect, right? So I just got home. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the Divine Masculine. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick Uno reverse. And this half of the message is going to be dedicated to Divine Masculines, right? And I just want to give a quick PSA for anyone that might have jumped straight to the timestamp for Divine Masculine that may have missed the intro. This is actually my second time recording this. The first time I recorded it, I was trying to do some editing, and the editing was taking up a lot of room in my phone, so I had to delete some things to make room for it, and accidentally deleted the video, right? Like an idiot. So now I have to do the whole thing over again. And this one, I apologize to Divine Feminine and her message. This one is going to be a little bit choppy because I'm not doing this fresh from memory and I didn't take any notes. All of my videos, when I say scenarios, when I say the situations, these are all dreams. So I'm a dream intuitive, right? I do have visions from time to time, but 9 times out of 10, the scenarios that I'm talking about are dreams. And then sometimes you'll hear me insert little anecdotes of personal experience, but majority of the time, these scenarios, these are situations are coming from dreams that I've had, right? So I didn't record my dreams. I've stopped recording in my journal as much now that I do these video logs. These are my dream recordings, right? These right here. So this one is going to be a little bit choppy because I'm not doing it fresh off the brain after I had the dream. I'm doing it from memory. And because I deleted the first video trying to do so much editing, this one is going to be very basic. So I apologize for that as well. Now, I want to give another quick little PSA. When I say Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, I'm talking about energies, okay? These are not talking about specific genders. They are talking about energies. So Spirit is just reminding me to tell you to just make sure you get in where you fit in, okay? Take what resonates. You may be a divine masculine, but based off of your particular storyline, it may coincide with the message that went with divine feminine, right? Or you may be a divine feminine if you're still listening up until this part, and based off your storyline, you may be more in tune with this half of the message that goes with divine masculine. And there may even be some karmic cross watchers. You may be in a scenario, and like I said, I hate to say karmic because sometimes people get into they get labeled as a karmic because of the role that they play in a scenario, although they might not necessarily know, but that's the energy that they're portraying. And I'll get into that in Divine Masculine's message. But there may be some karmic cross watchers. So if you're listening to the story and the scenarios and you realize that you kind of fit in between, you're probably the karmic cross watcher in this scenario, okay? So here we go with Divine Masculine. Okay, so Divine Masculine. For you, this story is going to be more of a cautionary tale, right? For Divine Masculine. So if you are a Divine Masculine who chose a third party over your Divine Feminine, this is going to be, how do I want to say this? This is going to be a cautionary tale, but it's going to kind of be some harsh truths for you, right? So I understand that with most people, and like I said, this is about energy, so get in where you fit in. For most people don't tend to like to hear criticism. People don't tend to like to hear that they're wrong. There are a lot of tarot readers, there are a lot of spiritualists who do a lot of video and a lot of content, and it primarily is towards divine feminine. It's disproportionately towards divine feminine, and you don't hear a lot of people talking about divine masculine. And anytime they do, it tends to be something negative. Like, you rarely hear anyone giving good outcomings to a divine masculine, and I feel like that kind of deters people, because no one, I was going to say no man, but then I would be contradicting myself, because these are energies, not genders. No one wants to sit there and hear someone say all of these bad things. No one wants to sit there and hear someone talk about all the mistakes they've made. We've all made mistakes, right? And a lot of people, both men and women, tend to not like criticism, right? So before I start this, and I realize that a lot of people are going to click off of it because they're not going to want to hear a lot of negative things. They're not going to want to hear me talk about the mistakes that they've made. But know that this is not about bashing men. This is about giving harsh truths to divine masculine energy, right? So if you are a divine masculine and you are in a relationship, you are in a marriage, and it's heavy with the marriage, but it could just be a relationship. You have a significant other, and if you are considering, or if you have already left your significant other because you want to rekindle a relationship with a past love, with someone that, now that you've woken up spiritually, you deem this person to be your divine counterpart, your soulmate. For some of you, you have dug a hole too deep that you're not going to be able to climb out of, right? For some of you, like if you're someone and you had two choices, or you were choosing between two different individuals, and you chose one even though you really wanted the other person. You really wanted the other. I'm just going to say woman only because that's how it shows up in my dreams, right? But remember, this is not about genders, it's about energies. If you are a divine masculine who really wanted to be with a certain divine feminine, but you chose someone else because of whatever reason, because this divine feminine really was nonchalant, wasn't being open with you. You couldn't tell if this person really loved you, if they wanted to be with you. Neither one of you were willing to open up and just have an honest adult conversation. You guys were kind of playing around, a little tit for tat. So you ended up choosing someone else. And for some, you chose this other person because you impregnated them, right? Because you impregnated them. If you are in a relationship or in a marriage with the person that you chose, and if you are struggling financially, then this message is for you. And your ancestors actually have a big part in your financial struggle, because they want to tell you that you chose wrong, and your karma, for not just for choosing wrong, but for continuing to engage in negative behavior towards the person that you were actually supposed to be with, for continuing to engage in negative behavior towards your true divine counterpart. Your karmic punishment, or part of your karmic punishment, was you actually dealing with this financial struggle, was you struggling with your finances, right? But for someone, there's someone out there who is getting a divorce, and that's what sparked this video series that I'm doing right now. I've been having all of these dreams lately about these divine masculines wanting to reach back out to these divine feminines that they have passed over, that they have done wrong over the years. I've been having these energies of, like, especially early in the morning, there's some like divine masculine who can't even sleep at night because he really wants to reach out to this divine feminine, but after everything that's been said and done, like, he doesn't even know where to start. He's like, where do I even start? He's like, what can I even say at this point to even get this person to, because I'm getting, like, for someone, there's been so much damage done that this person won't even pick up your phone call. This person, I'm getting, because of all of the damage, all of the lies, all of the games, all of the back and forth, this person will only respond to you in text so that they have receipts. This person has to have receipts when they communicate with you because of all the things that you've done. This is the type of divine masculine where you pick and choose, right? Like, y'all know how people will say, like, oh, he, like, you'll have like a man and he may have multiple kids with multiple women, and they'll say, oh, he only does for the kids. Like, there was a meme that went around years ago where it was like, and I hate the term like baby daddy, baby mama, but that's what the meme said. It was like, a baby daddy will only provide for the kids of the baby mama that he's cool with, right? This is the type of energy that's given. Like, if you had two women who you had children with both, you only provided for the children of the woman that you were with, right? And the woman that you weren't, which is actually your true counterpart, you made like minimal efforts. You made like next to no efforts. A lot of this pain and a lot of this hurt is not only about divine feminine, it's about the child or the children as well. Because as you grow spirit, first of all, as adults, I don't think people really understand when you have grown men and grown women that are engaging in this back and forth and tit for tat, trying to hurt each other. The person or the people who get hurt the most are actually the children. And unfortunately, I think that not enough people really pay attention to that aspect, that who you are really destroying is your child or is your children, especially in this scenario where you have children by two different women. And when you have a child or a certain set of children that have to watch you or see you be dad of the year to their siblings, but you do next to nothing for them. Not only, and this is like someone who's doing it specifically to like get under the skin of the mother. And although you are accomplishing that, who you are destroying, you may be getting under the mother's skin, but emotionally and mentally, you are destroying and causing trauma and scars to your child. And a lot of the karma that you have to clear up is going to be with your child. Like at the very end of this, I'm going to do another segment about reconciliation. And even if you do reconcile, and whether you reconcile or not, the whole point of this is about healing. Even if you do successfully heal those wounds with divine feminine, that's a whole nother beast. You have two sets of karma. Unlike the divine feminine, who is just healing her relationship wounds and her mental and emotional wounds in this scenario, if you are the divine masculine energy in this scenario, you actually have two sets of karmas that you have to rectify. One of them being with the divine feminine, and the other one being with your child. And the energy with your child is going to be, when I tell you, a whole nother beast. It's gonna be a whole nother beast. But I'm gonna give like a tip for that in a few minutes, right? But I just want to say, like, we all make mistakes. And this is not about bashing someone, because I can, from the energy that I've been feeling from the divine masculine energies, this is already someone who feels terrible. This is already someone who is looking back and seeing all the mistakes that they've made, and they feel horrible. This is someone who wants to make that call, so bad, but they can't. You know what I mean? Like they can't even bring themselves to make that call, because they are embarrassed. They are riddled with guilt and embarrassment over their actions, because they realize, right? And this is something that I'm going to say, and I'm not saying this to offer an excuse. You know, as adults, as we are all responsible for the choices that we make. But this is someone who, like, you are angry. Like you are so, like, anytime you, okay, so, y'all know, like, divine masculines, if you're with a divine feminine or feminine energy, right? And every time this person talks about their ex, it's always something negative. If you guys are having a conversation or you're going out and you don't even have to bring the ex up, something can happen. And then this person will start telling you this whole story about how something similar happened with their ex, but their ex responded like this, and they were so negative, so mean, so angry. So, and if you're dating someone and they have nothing but negative, but bad things to say about their ex, 9 times out of 10, they are still in love with that person. They are still deeply in love with that person. And most people already know that. If you're dating someone, getting to know someone that constantly brings up their ex, 9 times out of 10, they're still in love with that person, right? But for you, divine masculine, you are someone who, you bring up your ex. You bring up, or at least initially, when you were initially in the relationship with the person that you are with now, or may have just left, you were constantly bringing up your ex, right? Constantly. And you constantly had all of these negative things to say about this individual, and you were angry. And it's like, it's a strange anger. It's like an anger that you really can't even comprehend, because when you sit back and think about it, you're like, man, like, this person used to be so awesome. This person used to be so great. This person used to literally be like everything I thought I wanted and needed. And this person is now like nothing to me. And you're angry. You are so angry. Y'all remember Goosebumps? And I brought up this scenario in Divine Feminine. Y'all remember Goosebumps, The Mask, right? And it was a girl named Carly, I believe it was Carly Rae, right? And she puts on this mask. And the first time she puts it on, she takes it off, everything is fine. She realizes that she's putting on a mask, right? But the more she wears the mask, the more it begins to consume her, to the point where the mask is her. She is the mask. The mask has now taken over. That is what you went through. And it's almost like a demonic spirit, right? Like the spirit of anger, the spirit of resentment is almost like a demonic spirit. that has consumed you. It has become a mask that you cannot take off. Initially, you were doing things and saying things out of anger. You knew what you were doing, and you were doing and saying things just to like get back at this person because you were hurt that they left, right? And a lot of it, they left because you tried to put them in a third party situation, because you were choosing between them and someone else, and the person who you wound up with was the type of energy, the type of individual who's like, hey, pick me. So that person may have been doing things and saying things to persuade you to pick them, whereas the other individual, the divine feminine, is more of the type of energy, if you're trying to choose between her and someone else, she's like, oh, well, I'll make the choice for you. You can have the other person. And she walked away. And truly what you wanted was divine feminine. But because divine feminine walked away, you settled for this other individual. But in doing so, instead of just admitting that's what happened, and no one wants to hear that, like even the other woman does not want to hear that, but it's the truth. And you could have either told the truth or you could have just kept it to yourself. I mean, that was an option as well. But instead, what you did was you chose the other person and then led the other person to believe that they had won you, that they had won you over, when really they were the only option that you had. And you began to do things to divine feminine. You begin to say things to divine feminine. You begin to create hardships for divine feminine. And it started off, like I said, you knew what you were doing and you were angry at this person for walking away. But your anger consumed you to where it became a mask that you could not take off. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And part of your healing, because for someone, this was like a big part of the message. This was a big part of divine feminine's message. For someone, it's like it's worse than what divine feminine even. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call that came in and disrupted my train of thought and disrupted my message. But anyways, for someone, it is worse than what divine feminine even knows, because someone out there did more behind the scenes, and that you did a lot of things that divine feminine never found out. There may have been certain scenarios and certain situations that heavily affected divine feminine, but she did not know that behind the scenes you were the one orchestrating this. And if you truly want to heal, if you truly want a chance at reconciling, if you truly want a chance to heal, you're going to have to be completely honest. For some of you, you've done and said so many things to friends and family that you wouldn't even be able to bring this person around unless you were to open up and be honest. And for someone, like heavy mom energy, heavy mother energy, for someone, your mother woke up spiritually, and she actually was the one who was the catalyst into you waking up spiritually. For some of you, because the divine feminine woke up spiritually and y'all are connected because that's your true divine counterpart, that's what actually sparked you waking up spiritually, right? But for someone, you're going to have to admit to because you won't even be able to bring this person around because of all the things that you have said. I'm hearing like all the things he said, all the things he said running through my head, like all the things that you said are running through your head. And now you're trying to figure out, how would it even be possible to bring this person around your family and friends unless you admit to the lies that you've told? And not only do you have to admit them to your family and friends, you have to admit them to this person. Because if you don't, and you start bringing this person around, eventually the truth is going to come out. It's going to come out, and shit is going to hit the fan. Excuse my language. It's going to hit the fan, and it's going to destroy the reconciliation if there ever was one, right? So you're going to have to be honest. And for some of you, that's what you are dreading, because you're already dreading having to apologize for all the things that you've done that divine feminine knows about. But I'm hearing like the story gets deeper. I'm hearing the story gets darker. Like you've done so much more. And for some of you, like I said, a reconciliation is not going to be possible because you've just dug a hole too deep. You're in too deep, right? So a lot of this has to do with the children aspect. With the divine masculine in particular, a lot of the karma and a lot of the karma has to do with the children aspect, right? So, like I said, this is someone who, because a lot of the times, if you're dating someone and you choose someone else, if you guys don't have any sort of ties or any sort of bonds or connection, ideally you guys would just go your separate ways, and that would be the end of it. You may still think about this person, you may still wonder about this person, but there should not be much that you can do to affect this person if you all don't have children together, unless you all work together. Now, there is some scenarios where you all may have worked together and you may have had something to do with some sort of disciplinary action, or I'm even hearing termination for someone because of something that you did. You're gonna have to be honest about that. Probably not in writing, I would suggest, because that could be used against you, which would be your karma. But I'm saying it, probably not put that in writing, right? But nonetheless, the majority of this is coming. Oh, is it a full moon tonight? Oh, okay. What's today? The 21st? I have to look at the schedule. I forgot. I didn't even keep up with the full moon cycle this month. It looks like a full moon tonight. But anyways, you have a lot of the karma that you have to do is like surrounding your children, right? Because this is someone, who, when you chose this other individual, like I said, you went out of your way to make this other person feel like they were just this fantastic person, like they were just this great option, like they were just everything that like divine feminine was not, right? And in doing so, this person began high stepping. Like if you're disrespecting, if you're talking down about divine feminine, that's one thing. But you allowed this other woman, you allowed this other person to start high stepping and disrespecting divine feminine. And that became a whole nother, what I want to say, like source of trauma for divine feminine, right? And I hate to like call this other individual a karmic. For the purpose of this, I'm going to call this person a karmic, but I really hate to do that because there are actually some people who, when you listen to the stories that like readers put on YouTube and whatever other social media platforms, and they'll say karmic, and there are a lot of people who fit into that category, but don't actually realize that they are the karmic cross watchers because they don't look at themselves as being a karmic. But a karmic is just an energy. You could have a person who is actually a decent person, like maybe a nice person at heart, who just made some mistakes. But in the story, this person is referred to as a karmic because they are meant to serve a lesson. They are meant to be a lesson either to the divine feminine or the divine masculine, or in some scenarios, both. They are meant to be a lesson. So this person in this scenario is a karmic energy, but this person is not necessarily a bad person at heart. This is someone who was told that they were the better option. This is someone who was told that they won. This is someone who was told that, like I said, they were everything divine feminine was not. This is someone who you led to believe was just 10 times better than divine feminine. This was someone that, because they constantly heard you speak so negatively about divine feminine, that they began to be comfortable talking about divine feminine. You're making up scenarios, and like I said, a lot of this has to do with if you have children with divine feminine, because otherwise there'd be no reason for you and divine feminine to still be in contact. This type of person who, if divine feminine was reaching out to you because of the children, you were making this other person feel like divine feminine was only calling and reaching out to you because they still wanted to be with you. You were telling this person that, when she's calling me, she's not talking about the children. She's talking about why can't we be together? And like all of it was lies. All of it was lies. So then you had this other woman going, and for some reason I keep hearing like social media, like this woman was posting things on social media. If you know that you weren't doing what you were supposed to do financially for your children, let's say your divine feminine put you on child support, right? And you may have been upset about that, right? A lot of people get upset about that, understandably so, right? You may have gotten put on child support. I remember seeing a meme years ago that someone put on child support, and it said something like it said like your baby mama sees you with a new woman who looks better than her. Bam, child support papers, or like something along that lines, right? This is like that's like something that maybe because of what you were leading your significant other to believe, that was like something that person may have posted on Facebook. So like this person is doing and saying things, not only disrespecting your child's mother, the divine feminine, to her face, but is doing and saying things disrespecting the divine feminine publicly by making social media posts, right? And like I said, there may be some karmic cross watchers. If you are someone and you've been in a relationship with a divine masculine, and the relationship has been going seemingly okay, but you guys have been struggling financially, like since y'all got together, y'all have been struggling heavy financially. If you've been dealing with a lot of issues with child support and with a previous relationship that he's had with an ex, then you may actually unknowingly be the karmic. You may be watching this thinking that you're divine feminine and you're supposed to be healing, but you may actually be the karmic. You may actually be the karmic lesson in these scenarios, right? And that's not to say that you are a bad person. It just means that you were here to serve a lesson for this divine couple, for these divine counterparts. And I say that respectfully, because like I said, for some of you, you may be karmic cross watchers who are just meant to serve as a lesson. For others, you are true karmic energies, right? You are true karmic energies. Now, there is a show on Netflix, right? There is a show on Netflix called The Upshaws. Now, this show doesn't really go with what I'm saying, but I'm just going to use that scenario. If you've watched the show, it doesn't fit exactly, but pieces of it kind of resonate. Like you have Benny Upshaw, and he's married to Regina Upshaw, and he stepped out on Regina and had another child on the side with someone named Tasha, and they have a son together, right? So Regina and Benny have been together all these years, been through all of this, and even after everything's been said and done, even after all of these years, their relationship is still one that struggles heavily. Regina struggles a lot mentally. They struggle a lot financially. They just have all of these struggles in their relationship. And even though she said she forgives him, you can tell by her actions that she hasn't. But ignoring all of that, there's one episode where what happens? I think a child shows up and is looking for Benny, and it turns out the child is actually looking for Benny Jr. But she comes in saying Benny, and they think that it's the dad Benny's, and they start going off on him again and all this stuff, and then they're having a private conversation in the kitchen where she refers to his other son as his bastard child. And I hate that word, and I know it's a biblical word, and it's a thing with a lot of, and that's why I'm not I can't, that's why I'm not into some heavily religious people, because sometimes, yes, the Bible I'm not even going to get into that. There are just certain things that people just become way too judgmental about. And I really hate that word bastard, because just even saying it, it sounds so harsh. And like, you are literally using this word to refer to a child. Now, if you want to refer to the adults as harlots or whatever you want to call them, that's on you. But to refer to this innocent child as a bastard, to label this child since birth as a bastard, it's just like so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. But Regina calls his outside child a bastard. And this is like the type of energy that some of these karmics are getting. Like someone significant other is high stepping so much that this person is actually referring to your child as a bastard. And the thing, like I said, this scenario doesn't really go with the show as much, because he actually did have another child within his relationship. For this purposes, this child that you have outside of your relationship, outside of your marriage, is actually a child that you had prior. Like, this child that you have with Divine Feminine is actually older. Now, for some people, it could be a middle child if it was like a breakup to makeup situation. But for the majority, the child that you have with Divine Feminine is older. And for someone I'm getting, and this came in another dream as well, because I've had, like I said, lots of dreams on this matter for like the past year now. For someone else, this person that you ended up choosing, the person that you're with, the person that you're married to, or in a long-standing relationship with, you actually chose them because you ended up having a child with them. And now that you have 2 children by 2 different women, like, you had to choose somebody. So technically speaking, the child or the children, if you have more than one, that you had with your significant other were had out of wedlock as well. So technically speaking, all of your children are bastards. But because you're in a long-standing relationship, or because you decided to marry this person, now all of a sudden they want to pretend and they want to high step as if all of the children that y'all have been had within wedlock, when everybody knows that no, one or more of those children were produced prior to you all getting married. So technically speaking, several of your children are bastards. But this woman is so high stepping that she outwardly refers to the child you have with Divine Feminine as a bastard. And that woman is she's going to have karma for that. A lot of the things that, and for someone, your significant other is a big reason of why you haven't been in your child's life. And that's another karma that you're going to have to deal with. And it's karma that karmic is going to have to deal with. If you're a karmic and you're in a relationship with a man, and you are doing things and you are preventing and you are complaining, and you know what you're doing. If you are doing things to prevent that man from having a relationship with his child, all because you are threatened by the child's mother, then that's karma that you're going to have to deal with. And for some of these karmics, Divine Masculine, you leaving, you getting that divorce is going to serve as their karma, because now their karma, the karma for the karmics, is going to be that they're going to have to walk a mile. No, I'm hearing miles. They're going to have to walk miles in Divine Feminine shoes, because you wanted to talk bad about Divine Feminine and her bastard child or children. You wanted to talk bad about Divine Feminine being a single mother. You wanted to talk bad about Divine Feminine having to do all this and that, and how that can never be you. And Spirit is saying, like, never say never. I'm hearing Brandy, never say never, right? You are about to have to walk miles. All of those struggles that you were trying to put on Divine Feminine is about to become your life. So everything that you are speaking, whether true or not, everything that you spoke on Divine Feminine's life, you're going to have to live out in your life. That's going to be your karma, because you spoke it. Therefore, that's what it's going to be for you. That's how the universe is going to flip that. But for Divine Masculine, if you allowed this individual, like I said, like, I'm not trying to like be harsh or anything, but if you allowed your significant other to cause barriers in between the relationship that you had with your child, That is karma that you're going to have to deal with. That is karma that you're going to have to rectify. That's karma that you're going to have to rectify with the child. But for a lot of you all, if you have been sitting around thinking, if you've finally woken up spiritually, if this light has clicked for you, and you're realizing that after all these years, because what was it for Goosebumps? The only thing that could finally break the hold that the mask had on Carly Rae was love, right? So as this divine feminine, as your divine counterpart is waking up spiritually, because you all are still tethered to one another, her spiritual awakening is fostering your spiritual awakening, right? So now that you're awakening and you're seeing that what you've had for this person all this time was not hate. It was not hate. It was actually love. You know, it was love. It was disappointment. It was resentment. And it was all being masked. And underneath what it really was it was hurt, because you truly love this person. So now that love is finally breaking the mask, and now that you're finally seeing the truth, and for some of y'all, you're seeing your significant other for the true karmic as they really are. Now that you're seeing the truth, now you're trying to scramble and you're trying to figure out how you're going to fix this. And like I said, for a lot of you all, especially the ones where there are children involved, you're going to be able to heal from it. There's going to become a point where you and Divine Feminine are going to be able to sit down and have this conversation, and you're going to be able to heal from it, but you're not going to be able to fix it in the way of you all reconciling, because you've done too much. And for a lot of it, it's going to be hurt. It's going to be hurt on Divine Feminine side, because you realize that, and it just, there was some energy that came through last week where I kept hearing like, congratulations, graduate, and someone showing up to their child's high school graduation, and they even been at college, but I was getting heavy high school. Someone showed up to their child's high school graduation and tried to apologize there, and it was wrong place, wrong time. And what ended up happening is this person I'm seeing like cartoon with someone's head exploding and like smoke everywhere. Someone infuriated the Divine Feminine, because it's like, now, like, I've been raising our child alone all these years. Our child is now grown. They are 18. They are graduating high school. They are moving on to college or to trade school, whatever, to the workforce. They are, someone I'm hearing military. They are moving on to the adult portion of their life. And now you want to make amends? Now? Like, when our child is grown and is moving on into the adult portion of their life, now you want to, someone was in fear. So if this is you and your child is getting ready to graduate and you want to apologize, I'm here to tell you now, that is not the time. That is not the time. You are going to infuriate. I'm seeing like someone literally swinging. There being like a big fight that breaks out. That is not the time. It's not the time nor the place. Let that moment be about your child. But for some, because of all of the pain that they've had to go through with you not being there, with all of the drama that you've caused, family, especially someone's mother, a divine masculine's mother, had a lot to play in the drama that was caused as well. But because of all the drama caused by you and your family and your significant other, them trying to reconcile with you is not going to be possible. And a lot of it has to do with the fact of you having other children. Now, I'm not blaming anyone's children. Children are innocent in all of this. Children should not be a part of the pawns in anyone's game. But if you think about it, if you truly give it some thought and perspective, if you were to reconcile with this divine feminine, if she's a true healed divine feminine, she's not going to slip into those karmic ways. She's not going to keep you from your children. She is going to encourage you to continue to be the best father that you can to those children. But recognize she's going to become those children's stepmom, which means what? She's going to have to parent and help you raise those children that you had with this karmic that prevented you from being in your child's life. So she's going to have to sit here and help you raise other children. Meanwhile, while you did nothing for the one that you all shared, there are going to be some divine feminines who are not going to be able to get over that. And it might sound petty to some. And for some masculines, and the divine feminine's portion was really long. I'm still recording right now, so I can't see how long divine masculine's portion is at this point. But for some of you all to truly understand how divine feminine feels, you may have to go back and listen to portions of the message for divine feminine if you really want to, because for some of y'all, and I mentioned this in the prior half of the message, your divine feminine may have been very, very nonchalant. So you might have thought that like, oh, she's superwoman, she's super strong, nothing gets her down. But that was her mask. That I don't care, that do what you want, that I don't need you. That was her mask. That was her Carly Rae mask that she was putting on in order to make it through everything that you were doing. But deep down underneath, it was a lot of hurt. It was a lot of hurt that you were embarking on her. So maybe you don't need to listen to that. Just hear what I'm saying now and understand. Your Carly Rae mask was the anger that you were portraying that was hurting the love and the hurt that you felt inside, because truly you love this divine feminine. The Carly Rae mask that divine feminine was wearing was one of strength. I don't need anybody. I can do it by myself, to hide the hurt of you not being there. You understand? You both were wearing masks. And when you all were fighting, when you all were battling, when you all were going back and forth, it was not your true divine selves. It was these masks that had consumed you that were going back and forth. And now that you all are healed, for some of you, now that you all are healed, this divine feminine is going to be able to see past all that. She's going to be able to understand what was going on. And I'm going to do a third segment at the end called the reconciliation. And some of you all, your reconciliation is going to be so beautiful, but I'm not there yet. Before I get there, for some of you all, there's not going to be a reconciliation, because even though you're going to reach out and apologize, that divine feminine is still going to have to do some inner work to get over the fact that she can't be with you. She cannot be with you and help you raise children who you were there for, who you were present for, who you were I'm seeing like someone being like a basketball coach, like a parent volunteer at like a basketball league, like a recreational sports. And you matter of fact, you may have even been assistant coach. You may have started off as a parent volunteer and like worked your way up to assistant coach. But someone literally, I'm hearing like little league, like a softball, t-ball, whatever they call it for the little boys. Someone may have even gotten the MVP award for best dad because you were so active in the children's sports team for the children that you had with this karmic. Like when I say father of the year, I mean someone out there literally has an award or a trophy or a mug somewhere in their home right now at this second that says father of the year. So you want this divine feminine to forgive you and to help you raise these kids that you were literally speaking father of the year for, when you did nothing for the child that you all share that was here on this earth first. Some divine feminines are going to have to really work through that. And depending upon the age of your other children, maybe when they become adults, maybe if all of your children are not that far apart and your children are nearing graduation, maybe at that point when all the children are grown, it may be an easier transition to reconcile. But for those of you that have younger children that still have a ways to go, I'm telling you it's going to be something that divine feminine really has to work through. And this is part of your karma of the pain that you caused for years. And for someone, I'm getting like over a decade, like 4 years. That came out heavily in divine feminine's message. This has been something that's been going on for years. For someone, over a decade. right? A lot of heavy child support energy. This is someone who does not pay their child support. This is someone who resents having to be, this is someone who, if you do pay the child support, you have the mindset of, since you put me on child support, that's all you're going to get. You don't get anything. You either get me or you get the child support. But this is someone who said that knowing that prior to your child's mother, prior to Divine Feminine filing for child support, you weren't there anyways. So Divine Feminine was like, either I get you or I get money. Well, before I filed for child support, you weren't there. You never showed up. You always had excuses. So if I can't have anything, I might as well get a couple dollars, because at least then it'll help pay for things. So if I can't get anything else, I might as well get a few dollars, right? And for some of y'all, you need to understand how the child support system works. For someone, because I've heard like men complain about, oh, she's using my child support. Because there was someone who posted something on YouTube. I was watching this short where this man was like, men, y'all be out here lying. Y'all baby mama be cool and be having like the best snacks. And all of the men in the comment section who were like, you're eating another man's fruit and labors, right? Oops. Sorry about that. I accidentally pressed a button. But someone was saying, you're eating off another man's fruit and labors. Let me just say this. Anyone who, if you're complaining that like you're paying all of your child's mother's child support, if you're paying all of her bills, then I'm hoping you're someone who's paying minimum like $800 or more, because the majority, like the average person that pays child support pays like $300 a month. And if you're a grown man and you have your own bills that you have to pay for, you have your own rent and utilities. And I remember this one guy, what's it called, Vonda B child support court, that one of my friends put me on or whatever, and she was talking about it, and like men were complaining like, I have to pay my own rent, my car note, my car insurance, my water, like listing all of these bills, and had the nerve to say I can't pay her bills too. And his child support order was like let's just say like $290 a month. Sir, you just sat there and calculated how much your monthly expenses are, and they totaled it to like just shy of $2,000. If your monthly expenses reach almost $2,000, how in your mind do you think that the $200 you're paying, or I'm sorry, let's just say $300, how in the world do you think that the $300 you're paying a month is covering your child's mother's bills? Like, make it make sense. It was so like, and I hate to say it because I know like people get so up in arms about child support, but it was almost comical, because it's like you literally just listed all the bills you have to pay per month to survive, and it was just shy of $2,000. But you're really up here arguing to the judge that you shouldn't have to pay all of her expenses too, when you were only paying $300 a month in child support. Like, where in your mind does $300 cover all of anybody's expenses? Have you seen how much daycare is nowadays? That's not even a month of daycare. It is a drop in the bucket. Like, get real. But this is someone who literally goes around, or you went around saying that you were like tired of taking care of her and paying her bills, when you were probably only paying like a couple of $100 a month in child support. And for someone, you weren't even paying that because you were so pissed about it that you refused to pay it. So like, this is someone who is in thousands of dollars. Like, some, not for all, like I said, take what resonates, get in where you fit in, and leave the rest. But someone out there is literally in thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in child support debt, talking about how you gonna pay your child's mother's bills when you're not even paying the support? You haven't paid anything, and her bills are still getting paid. So how exactly are you the one doing it when you're not even paying? Like, come on. I am so sorry, but like, come on now. But anyways, like, this is someone who's like, oh, okay, the car next to me is going off. Okay, I'm just gonna move my car to a different location because I don't want anybody to come outside and see me parked next to that car, and that alarm going off and thinking that I did, because I haven't even opened my door. I have not touched that car. I don't want them to think that I had anything to do with that. But either that's spirit telling me that I am right on point, or it's spirit telling me to move on to the next topic, because you are about to lose someone with this message. So let me just move on. I'm just gonna take it with, as a stride, and I'm just gonna go ahead and move on, right? Let me park here. Let me park here. Because there was something else I wanted to say anyway, so let me not harp on that for too long. But like I said, there's going to be some who your child's mother is not, a reconciliation is not going to be possible, because the hole that you've done, you're in too deep. You are in too deep. But you being honest and apologizing for it is not, it's not so much for the reconciliation, but it's for healing. Because so much has been said and so much has been done. And I'm getting that once y'all actually sit down and finally have the conversation and have this talk, you all are going to realize that it's not even what you thought it was. Like it's seriously, it's not even what you thought it was, because you all literally were both walking around wearing this mask. Okay. There was something that I meant to mention in the previous message, but I didn't actually speak about the energies being interchangeable until I got to Divine Masculine's part. But if you are Divine Masculine, and if you are the one if you are a male and you are the one who a female left you, or it doesn't even have to be female, it doesn't matter whether it's same sex, opposites, it really does not matter. If you are a male and you are someone who your person left you for and it's giving heavy female, left you to be with someone else, but you all still had ties, maybe you had children, maybe you were the single father. If this woman got a divorce and is trying to come back, it's giving heavy go get tested, because there's been like a lot of energy with these STDs, and they have been putting all of this on to, like, be careful, this Divine Masculine's coming back with an STD. Be careful, this Divine Masculine's coming back with an STD. And I'm telling everyone who hears this to be careful. But the energy that it's giving is giving that it's a Divine Masculine energy, but gender, it's actually a female. That's the energy that it's giving. And for some, it could be that it's actually the karmic. It may even be why you're getting a divorce. It may be the karmic spouse or significant other that actually stepped out and caught the STD, and that's what led to the divorce anyways. But it's giving heavy masculine, Divine Masculine energy, or masculine energy, but the gender of a female, right? So I just want to go ahead and put that out there. If you are a male and a woman is coming back to you, or something, you're having some sort of scenario with a woman, make sure you get tested, because it's giving heavy STD. I just wanted to throw that out there. But anyways, you sitting down with Divine Feminine, you sitting down and having this conversation, it should not only be for the reconciliation, right? So make sure that if you are leaving your significant other, if you are leaving your spouse, make sure you're doing so because you're no longer happy, because that's not where you want to be, because you are admitting to yourself, because you're seeing your life and how your life is turning out, and this is not what you wanted, because you're seeing your partner's true colors, and you're realizing that because we all grow. And as we grow apart. If you're someone who you like to continue to learn and grow and expand, and you're with someone who's stagnant, who likes things the way they are and never wants to change, you guys are eventually going to outgrow. It doesn't always have to be something negative. Could be in some scenarios, but it doesn't always have to be. If you are outgrowing your partner and that's no longer where you want to be, make sure that's the reason for your divorce, and not just because you want to reconcile with Divine Feminine, because some of you are not going to reconcile. Some of you, the goal, the partnership, the marriage, the relationship is not going to happen, right? And even for those, I have a message for you in the reconciliation portion of this marriage. But for some of you, it's not going to happen. So make sure that you're leaving your relationship, your marriage with your significant other, because you no longer want to be there. Make sure that is the reason why you're doing it, okay? And not only that, cautionary tale. This, I've been talking all this time. This is the cautionary tale, right? This is the meat and potatoes. For some of you, the Divine Feminine still has a lot of healing to get through. Still has a lot of healing to get through. For some of you, the Divine Feminine knows that she loves you and wants to be with you. And for some of you, her goal is going to be to get back with you and to prevent you from being a father in your, she's going to get back with you, and she's going to want to prevent you. She's going to want to put that karmic in the situation that karmic put her in, and she's going to do everything in her power to try to keep you from being an active participant in your kid's life. That is a unhealed divine feminine. That is not where you want to be. That is an unhealed divine feminine. For some divine feminines, if you speak to them before you get the divorce, and like I said, make sure the divorce is not about the reconciliation, but about you wanting to grow and expand and not being happy where you're at. Because if you speak to the divine feminine about wanting to get a divorce, some of them are going to encourage you to get the divorce, because for some, you getting that divorce is going to be a catalyst in their healing. So they're going to encourage you to get the divorce, but they're still not going to be with you. They're just going to continue to string you along for however long you allow them to do such. So make sure. If you get that divorce, that you are doing so, like I've said, and I'm going to continue to say, because I want to make sure I'm being very clear, that you do so because that's what's in your best interest, and because you want to grow, and because you're no longer happy where you're at. Do not let divine feminine be the reason that you're getting your divorce, because if so, when the reconciliation doesn't happen, you're going to go through a heavy down period. And for some of you, that may even be part of your karma. For some of you who don't reconcile, part of your karma is going to be going through that down period. How divine feminine felt down, how divine feminine, like I said, you might want to listen to some of her message, some of divine feminine's message to understand how what you did truly impacted her. Because for some, the trauma that you caused is what actually prevented them from having a successful relationship. So they have been single for years, right? And for some of you, you're going to have to go through that lonely single period as your karma. But the quicker you heal, the easier you can come out of that. You're not going to be lonely and single forever. The quicker that you heal and get through your healing, which is going to come after you have a tremendous amount of honesty, but the quicker that you heal, the quicker you don't have to be in that mourning period for a decade like divine feminine was. For you, it may be 1 year. It may be 10 months. It just depends on how long it takes you to heal, for you to forgive yourself. Your healing is not about divine feminine forgiving you. Okay? It's not about that. I'm sorry. You apologizing will help. It will help, and it will tremendously help divine feminine. But your healing is not about whether or not divine feminine forgives you. It's about you being open and honest about the role that you had to play in everything that you've done, and releasing that guilt, releasing that hurt, releasing that resentment. That's why being honest is going to help you. That's why it's going to help you heal. It's not about whether or not divine feminine forgives you. I just want to say that, right? Sorry to any divine feminines that hear this at this point. Your forgiveness has nothing to do with divine masculine's healing process. Okay? So you just have to heal. And the quicker you heal, the quicker you get out of your mourning period and you get into the reconciliation. My timestamp is officially at 111. What is that in time? That's because 60 minutes, 51. So that's literally 1 hour and 51 minutes. But on the timestamp on the app, it shows 111. I should have screenshotted it and used that as a picture. But the reconciliation literally came right at 111. So that's how I know we are on point with this, right? So just another little short introduction, because I kept having this feeling, I put the timestamps here because I kept having this feeling that there was going to be someone, or maybe like a group of people, who are going to just go to specifically what they want to hear, right? Which, because that's the same as like if you do a pick a card. So there's going to be someone who's going to be like, yo, I'm skipping all of this and I'm just going to go to the end of where the outcome is. And hopefully for someone, once you hear the outcome, it'll prompt you to at least go back and listen to a little bit of what the original message was, right? So quick intro. This is actually my second time, re-recording this. And actually it's more than second times, because I've had to do each recording at different times. So this is actually day 3 of me doing this re-recording. But I already did this message and I accidentally deleted it in the editing process. So this final draft, by the time it goes out, it's going to be extremely plain. Not a whole lot of graphics, like back to like my original videos where you're just looking at a picture the whole time. But it's more about what I'm saying than what you're looking at. The graphics that I'm trying to learn how to do more are really just for show and presentation, right? So this is going to be very plain, very basic, and I apologize for that, but I ended up deleting the first video while I was doing some editing. So I decided with this one, especially with this being so long, I'm not doing that all over again, right? So it's just going to be like real raw and uncut. But here we go into the reconciliation. Divine Feminine, the healing. Okay, I want to start this by saying someone is going to get some really, really, really good news, but they're going to get it while they're driving. Either a phone call that you've been waiting for is going to come through, or a text from someone that you've been waiting to hear for is going to come through, and it's going to come through while you're driving, right? Because as I was trying to record this earlier, I kept getting distracted from like excitement while I was driving. So I was like, let me just wait and get home and do this outside, because I haven't done a message outside in a while. The last few ones have been while I'm driving in my car. Like I said, it's just easier that way. So someone is going to get some really exciting news while they are driving, either to or from work. I was leaving work, so maybe when you're leaving work later on in the evening, depending on what shift you work, someone's going to get some excited news. But make sure you're being safe and being careful, okay? But Divine Feminine, I'm excited about this news for you, okay? Because your healing is going to put you in your soft girl era, okay? When we talk about Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine, like I mentioned before during Divine Masculine's message, these are just energies, not necessarily genders, right? But there are some Divine Feminines, or some females, I should say, some women that resonate more in their Divine Masculine energy. And I just want to start by saying there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But this is not for you. I feel like the females who resonate more in their masculine energy, like, know who they are and tend to be the ones who are like, I'm not going for the BS, right? Not to say that the rest of them do, but they just tend to be more comfortable in their masculine, right? But for some women, like for these particular Divine Feminines that this message is for, you being in your masculine, or you portraying more masculine, is just a result of unhealed trauma from the things that you've been through. So this healing that you are stepping into, like I said, is bringing you into your soft girl era. And the thing that really excited me was a dream that I had yesterday. I was trying to hurry up and get through Divine Masculines because I wanted to get through another dream that I had, and I'm actually glad, even though this video is going to be like really plain, like my first couple of ones. That's absolutely okay, because there was another dream that I had that if I would have released the original version, this would not have been in it. This whole second half, this whole reconciliation portion would not have been in it had not for the dream I had last night that sparked more dreams that I feel like I need to add because they're relevant, right? So the dream I had last night, when I tell you your soft girl era Divine Feminine is literally about to bring you your Prince Charming. And when I say Prince, like I legit mean Prince, right? It's also going to bring some people from your past back. This new glow up that you are about to have is going to bring back some people from your past. But for right now, I want to focus on this new energy, okay? Because in the dream that I had, there was this Divine Feminine who was going back to school. So if you're someone who you're in school right now, maybe you're still in school, or if you're someone and you're thinking about returning to school, something about this career change, especially if this career change has something to do with you stepping into your spiritual power, something to do with you using and embellishing on your spiritual gifts, like Spirit is saying, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it. Because when you go back to school, or if someone is changing jobs, I want to say that real quick. If someone is changing jobs, changing careers into one that will allow them to embellish more on their spiritual gifts, Spirit is saying, go for it, go for it, go for it, because this change is what's actually going to bring you into contact with this new energy. And like I said, the dream I had was so sweet, because when I say Prince Charming, I mean like legit Prince. Like in my dream, I'm talking like some Coming to America type stuff. There was this prince, and he was from Africa in my dream. Don't know which country. just know the continent. And he was coming to America to attend school, and he met this divine feminine and fell in love with her and wanted to marry her. I mean, brought his family over from Africa. Well, they brought themselves over. This is a wealthy man. This man comes from money, okay? And not that I'm saying that should be like your goal. You know what I mean? But if it is, it is. But this man like comes from money. So his family all, like, instead of just flying you over there, which would have been cheaper, his family all came over here because he said that he told them he was going to propose to you, and they wanted to be here. They wanted to be a part of everything. And the part that excites me, y'all, like, the part that excites me was his mother. His mother, in specific, this divine masculine's mother was absolutely in love with you. I'm like love at first sight. Before you guys even exchanged words, she was already in love with you from how much her son like raves about you, right? So his mother is ecstatic. She's happy. She's excited. She's like going around. She's making all the plans. She's paying for the wedding. She like wants this big extravagant ceremony. She's completely taking over. I mean, making sure every last detail is like absolutely perfect, but not in like an overbearing way, not in like a monster-in-law kind of way. Like, this was a manner in which she was doing it in like this most loving energy, like full of excitement and full of love. When I tell you, this man's mother is a complete 180 from the mother that you had to deal with in this past union that was trying to take you down. Now, when I recorded the video the first time, there was a part where when I was talking about, you know, the interaction with divine masculine, when I was talking about his mother, a cop car drove by, right? And there you could hear the sirens. Now, this was the first video that unfortunately got, you know, accidentally erased. So for someone like this past union, this mother, I'm just going to say monster. So the mother is the new union, the monster is the past union. That way I don't confuse anyone by saying all these mothers. But the monster from the past union, this is someone who like at one point tried to get you locked up. This is someone who tried to get cops and the courts involved in some sort of situation, whether it be like trying to take custody of your kids or just trying to eliminate your freedom. This monster from the past tried to get you caught up with the law and with the cops somehow. But of course, it did not work, right? But when I tell you, this new mother, this soon-to-be mother-in-law is the complete opposite. This woman literally, divine feminine, this woman literally puts you on a pedestal because she loves. When I tell you, this family is so loving, and they love and think so highly of their son, of their family member, that when he tells them that you are the one, they legit don't need to. I'm hearing like, I don't need to see anything. I don't need to say anything. Because they know his judgment. And they're like, if you say she's the one, she's the one. Because I'm getting like, this is a man who is very, very picky. Like, very picky. So they're like, oh, he finally found someone like him, this guy who like literally won't accept anything, found someone that he's head over heels for, or she must be the truth. She must be the truth, right? So I tell you, like, this family loves you, divine feminine. And when I tell you, like, I love that for you, divine feminine. So excited. I legit had to put my phone down and come home because I was too excited trying to record that while I was driving. So someone is about to get some good news. Like, someone may even get a text message from this person. Like, someone, when you meet this person, you might be like expecting that, oh my goodness. If this cat does not, if y'all heard that, I'm sorry, that's my cat pushing up against the door. I had him outside at first and he kept crawling all across me. Are you serious? This guy is super strong. Like, that's a cat doing all that. He was crawling all across me, and he was distracting me, right? But anyways, I'm not getting ready to play with him right now. Are you serious? I'm sorry about that. Like, he is so needy. He is so needy. I cannot. But anyways, because I'm going to finish this. I'm not going to take another day doing this. He's just going to have to calm down. But anyways, he knocked like a glass bowl off the table. But anyways, y'all, like, the excitement that I'm getting, right? I just completely lost my train of thought. But anyways, the excitement that I got, like someone, like you're already, this is like into the future, and you guys are already dating, and you're knowing that like something big is about to happen, and then you get that call or that text from him like, hey, I want you to meet my mom, and like instantly, intuitively, you already know what that means. Like, you already know what that means. So you are literally just like overwhelmed with excitement. Y'all remember that movie? Probably not, depending on the age range. Lizzie McGuire. Remember that TV show Lizzie McGuire? And they had the Lizzie McGuire movie, which was not good at all. But anyways, there was one part in the movie at the end where she's singing this song like, this is what dreams are made of. Like, for some reason, that is a song that got, so I don't even remember the words to it. So if you remember the words, or if you want to go look up the song Lizzie McGuire, This Is What Dreams Are Made Of, there may be some significance there. I didn't bother to go listen to the song like I normally do to pull out what I needed, but I kept hearing that song like, this is what dreams are made of, right? And like this wedding is about to be literally a fairy tale. It's about to be everything, probably more. I'm hearing like more than everything you ever wanted, right? And somebody is big mad. Like this family, this monster from the past that now realizes the consequence of her actions and wants you to be in reunion. Someone is big mad. Someone is regretful. Like I'm telling y'all, the way that my cat is acting, like he's normally very rambunctious, but he's never just this out of control. So someone is like big mad that they missed out and that they're not going to be able to move forward with you in your divine season, right? But when I tell you, divine feminine, this healing is about to bring you this fairy tale ending that you thought was only impossible in the movies, right? This, divine feminine, this is what dreams are made of. Divine masculine, the reconciliation. Okay, for the first half of this is going to be for those divine masculines that do not reconcile. The divine feminine, the healing, was about those divine feminines who choose not to go back, who choose to go on with this new energy. So the first half of this is going to be for those who your divine feminine decided she did not want to reconcile. And the second half are the ones who do reconcile. Of course, it's going to be for both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, what's to come, right? So for those divine masculines that do not reconcile, you're still going to heal. And what your healing is going to bring about is a huge shift in your finances, right? You're going to have abundance that's coming your way. There's someone out there who's worried, you know what I mean, about the divorce and about the separation from your significant other, especially because it has something to do with money, child support, just it has a lot to do with finances, right? But you're healing and you're going through and working through everything that's happened. You're healing, you're pulling off the mask, you're moving forward is going to bring about a huge increase. So if you're worried about your finances and being able to take care of your children, just know you're going to have everything that you need and more. And like I stated in the divine masculine message, and I'm sure that there are going to be some who might jump forward to the reconciliation just to see what it is I have to say. They may not listen to the full divine masculine message because it was rather lengthy. But I mentioned in the message that you're healing, right? You're healing. And you being completely honest and open with yourself and with those that you have affected is going to bring about healing for you. And once you go through your healing period, and you're going to be open to dating again. And once you go through your, the dark night of the shadow, you're going to meet someone. You're going to have this new loving energy come into your life as well, where you're going to be able to move on and be happy. Excuse me, y'all. I cannot talk. Where you're going to be able to move on and be happy. It's just going to take a little bit longer for you. But for those that don't reconcile, trust assured, you're still going to have huge increases in your finances, right? And with the divine masculine, still for those that do not reconcile, I mentioned earlier about about your children, about needing to clear karma, not only with this divine feminine, but there was a much bigger karma that you needed to clean up and clear out with your children, right? So this is the energy that came. Like this is what came, especially for those who want to reach out and apologize and want to reach out to your child who has already graduated high school and is either in college or some sort of trade school. And like I said, for someone's child went into the military, right? But when it comes to your children, like life is not, it's not over at 18. How people say like, after 18 years, you're done. Absolutely not correct, especially in today's economy. Like trust and believe when these children go off to school, they're coming back home, because in today's economy, it's not like how it used to be where you can graduate, start applying for jobs, get an offer, start making money and move out and get your own apartment. These kids are having to come back home, some for a couple of years, until they can get on their feet, because this economy at this time is it's pure foolishness, right? So for someone, if you weren't in your child's life when they were a minor, I'm hearing like, now that they're 18, now that they're an adult, once they graduate college, or even while they're in college, or maybe even summers, let's say this child is in college, but they want to save money by not living on campus. Allow this child to live with you in their adulthood, right? And for some reason, like when I said 18 years, I kept hearing like 18 years, found out like the child, I forget how it goes. I can't think of it. Kanye West, where he's like something like 18 years, and found out like the child wasn't his or whatever. If that is your scenario, like this whole reading is not for you. That's a whole nother fish that you have to fry. And that woman that you were dealing with was not a divine feminine. That's not you. I don't know why that song came to mind when I said 18 years old, right? But anyways, allow this adult child to live with you after they've graduated, or even while they're in school. And for those that show up, after they've graduated, for those that move back, you can teach them some. You can still children don't know everything. Although, some children like myself, when I was 18, thought that I knew everything because I was legally an adult. These kids don't know everything. I'm an adult and I still don't know everything. But you couldn't tell me that when I was 18. I absolutely knew everything there was to know about life, right? Seemingly so. Like these kids don't know everything. There are still valuable lessons that they can be taught. You know what I mean? So allow your child to live with you in their adulthood and teach them some valuable lessons in their adulthood that is going to make a difference in their life going forward, particularly when it comes to dating. If you have a daughter, be that mother figure. If you have a daughter, be that father figure, of a representation of what type of man she should be, not going after, but what type of man that she should be allowing in her energy. If you have a son, teach him the type of women that he should be going after, right? Be that role model. And for someone whose child went to the military, like show up to their graduation, show up to their award ceremonies, show up to their promotion ceremonies. Make sure you're there as often as you can be to show them that you love them and that you are supporting them, right? It's not over. Just because the child is an adult, the divine feminine may feel that way. And that may be part of the reason why she doesn't want to reconcile. But, that's her feelings. That has nothing to do with the child. It's not over. You still have plenty of time to build that bond with that child. And that's going to help clear out some of that trauma and some of that karma that you have surrounding your actions towards that child, right? But I really sincerely hope that the divine masculines even make it to this part of the message. I'm hoping some of them just skip forward and just listen to this part first, and maybe that'll spark them to go back and at least listen to a portion of what I recorded before, because there's something hidden. For you, divine masculine, there's something hidden. There's something that spirit is hiding from you specifically until you're ready, because this something is going to be so grand that spirit wants to make sure you're ready for it. Because for someone, you're going to be discouraged. You're going to feel like you don't deserve this. You're going to feel like that can't be for me. You're going to feel like it's a trick, because you're going to feel like you're unworthy of this because of your past mistakes. But spirit has something hidden for you that is going to be so grand. And for a lot of you, this has to do with this reconciliation. So group 2, the ones where you do reconcile, the one where you and divine feminine come together and reconcile. When I tell y'all, big blessings on the way. Okay, I did a reading a few weeks ago about a train, right? And I don't remember if I talked about this one in that message or the one after it, or maybe even the one after that. I'm not sure, but I talked about a message about divine feminine and divine masculine getting back together, and they having being extremely successful, right? But in order for you to get there, before we even get there, we have to kind of clean up some of our mistakes from the past, right? You're going to have to be honest. In order for this reconciliation to take place, you're going to have to be honest about everything that you've said and done, right? Because if you want to be with this divine feminine, and for someone I'm getting you really want to show your divine feminine off, well, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to bring her around family and friends and all these people if you've spent all of these years trashing and down talking this woman. You cannot allow divine feminine to deal with the backlash of your lies, right? You cannot allow that. When I tell you, people will understand, if you're just open and honest with the ones who matter. I'm not saying broadcast it to the world, but for the people, for the family, for the friends that matter, if you explain to them what happened and how you were feeling and all the things that were going on, I guarantee you people will understand. And those that don't, leave them where they are. Everyone doesn't need to be in your business anyways. Leave them where they are. But you and divine feminine have to be completely open and honest with each other, and you have to be completely open and honest about what you truly want, okay? And at the same time, you're both going to have to be patient, especially if one of you is not in the spiritual community, okay? Now, there is another energy. There is another scenario where, and this is where that dream came from, where y'all had all of these financial blessings. This was a scenario where both divine feminine and divine masculine were both in the spiritual community, right? And they had already individually done their healing. They had already individually removed their masks, so that when they came together, they both had an understanding that who they were dealing with back when they had all this turmoil was not who they truly were, that these were masks. These were negative energies that were consuming them, and they both understood that. So when they came together for this reunion, the reunion was divine masculine had worked it up in his head that this reunion was not going to happen. It was going to be difficult, that there was no way she was going to understand. But because this divine feminine, excuse me, y'all, I'm trying my hardest, because this divine feminine was a part of the spiritual community and had already done her healing, this reunion, like I said, was nowhere. Now, there's still work that had to be done, and that has to be done, but it was nowhere near as hard as divine masculine thought it was going to be, because both parties had done their individual healing before coming back together, right? But I want to say this: if your divine feminine is not in the spiritual community, remember to be patient and to give this person grace, as their mask may not be fully removed, right? But anyways, for some of you all, and if you're worried about family and friends and other people and what they have to say, which that's not even something that should even be a topic of discussion. But for some, there may be a call to keep this reunion private, right? At least in the beginning stages, right? Keep this reunion private in order to help facilitate the regrowth. And then after that, I'm hearing pop-up Mary. And for someone, I'm hearing someone's about to pop up pregnant, and people are going to be pregnant? I didn't even know y'all were back together. But for majority, I'm hearing pop-up Mary. Keep your union private until you all have done your necessary inner work with the two of you before you start bringing other people into it. And that way, when you do start bringing family and friends into it, you all can tackle this together, right? So that it's not all on your shoulders, because you're both at fault to some extent, right? But for some, once you guys do pop up married, your reunion is going to be public, right? When I say public, I mean like public. I mean like limelight public, right? Especially for one of those divine couples that's going to go into business together. There is something about your story and how you all got back together and how you all created this business that you all are going to create. Your backstory is going to have a lot to do with that. It's going to be something maybe not necessarily spiritual, but it is going to be something to where your backstory of how you got there has a lot to do with the success of it, right? I'm hearing like your story is going to go viral, like public, limelight public, right? And you guys are really going to be out here living your best life. I'm talking traveling, taking trips, and just ultimately enjoying life. It's going to be no more of the 9 to 5, go to work, go home, go to work, go home. You guys are really going to be out here enjoying life. And when I tell y'all, I'm like super excited. I'm super excited. Like I had that dream, like I said, weeks ago, and I didn't really understand it at the time because like all these different scenarios keep happening. And I'm like, okay, you got this scenario, that scenario, all these different things. And I'm like, okay, it's just, there's so many different divine masculines and divine feminines. And there's so many different routes that are going to be taken, right? But this one in specific, like, I am so excited for you. Like I was super excited. Like I said, I had to come all the way home to record the healing for divine feminine. But there's something about this reconciliation for divine masculine that I am like most excited about, right? Because it's almost like I feel like you need this. I feel like there's just, like I said, there's such a disproportion when you have all these readers talking about, oh, well, divine feminine's getting this, divine feminine's getting that, divine feminine and divine masculine, he's going to be left in his regret and all this stuff. Like some will, but that's only for those who don't do the healing. Like just like divine feminine has to go through her healing, divine masculine, you have to go through your healing, and you're not going to be stuck, you know, as a result of things that you've done in the past. You can heal from that. You can come out of that karmic loop. You know what I mean? And I feel like not enough people talk about that. But this divine masculine who's doing the work, you are coming out of that loop. Okay, everything is about to be bigger and better going forward for you. Okay, so I am super excited. That's why majority of this was titled The Reconciliation, because I really wanted to get to this part for divine masculine, because like I said, I am super happy for you, because you don't have to, I don't want to say that I don't care what you've done, but for the purpose of like what I'm trying to express right now, I really don't care what you've done. You can make amends and you can right your wrongs. You know, when we come down here to earth, we have to understand that a lot of these things that happen were preordained. Like we picked this stuff. We chose this stuff, right? Now, some of it may have been free will and the matrix that caused interference. But some of these lessons, like we chose this. Your higher self chose this so that you could learn something specific. And all you have to do is learn it and grow from it. And I promise you have blessings coming too. Big ones. Right? Whether you reconcile or not, you have big blessings coming your way, divine masculine. So accept it, divine masculine, and know that you are worthy. Okay, quick shout out to Adam Taylor Photography, because I found this image and I think it is so dope, right? And I'm doing this and I'm calling it a bonus feature, right? For Karmic Cross Watchers, okay? And I'm entitling this one The Rebirth, okay? Because as I was doing the message for divine masculine, I felt like there may have been someone who watched this or maybe watches, because you know most tarot readers say or should say, take what resonates and leave the rest. And I feel like there are some Karmic Cross Watchers who will watch the video and be like, oh, this doesn't resonate, or oh, that's not true, or oh, that's not my scenario. Well, it's not always going to be word for word your scenario, but I feel like some of them may watch and they may resonate with some points, but they don't want to fully admit that the energies that their story more resonates with is actually with the karmic energy, right? Because everyone, when we think of karmic energy, when we hear of karmic energy, we think of it as this super negative thing. But like, it's not always such a bad thing, right? Like, karmics are necessary. And some karmic relationships, like, whether people know this or not, when you're coming down here, like I said, to divine masculine, a lot of the lessons that we go through were actually predetermined by our higher selves before we came down to earth. So some of these karmics, and actually signed up. They signed up for these roles prior to coming down to earth. And for some karmics, what you're going through is also a lesson for you, because you do have some divine beings. Like, there are some karmic, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. There are some karmics, and there are some divine beings who are masculating in karmic energy, right? So with this karmic and this particular, the majority of these scenarios where the divine masculine chose someone else, right? I don't feel like there's very much animosity. Like I said, for some of these, I'm going to talk about, the difference in just a second. But for some of these, I feel like there's not a whole lot of animosity between the karmic and divine feminine, other than what was brought about by divine masculine, right? Because I had a dream, right? I had a dream one night where this divine feminine ends up reaching out to a karmic. She ends up reaching out to the divine masculine's significant other in order to reassure her or encourage her or give her positive advice about a direction to take based off a dream or a vision that the divine feminine actually got, right? And just discuss a dream, in divine masculine about reconciliation. But this dream is relevant. Even in the dream where I talked about divine feminine and divine masculine doing this reconciliation, like I said, it has something to, it's either it was in the train video or it was in the video after or the video after that, where I talk about this big reconciliation, divine feminine, divine masculine getting back together, and they actually end up taking custody of the karmic's children. Now, not in an attempt we're taking it was nothing like that. This was a peaceful transfer, and it was only meant to be a temporary transfer while the karmic got themselves together. And them allowing this karmic to heal and to rebuild, the karmic ends up going to school, ends up, doing a lot of positive things. And it ties in with the dream that I had months ago, literally months ago, where I had a dream where this karmic ends up getting this very, very, very successful business and legit getting this house on the hill, right? But divine feminine and this karmic, for someone, I'm getting in the ethers, you guys are actually friends. You're actually really close. They even say, I've heard someone say, I don't remember where I heard this, where they say the people who come here on earth to teach you the harshest lessons are actually the people that you're closest to in the ethers, right? Because I'm getting this strong feeling that in the ethers, divine feminine and this karmic are actually friends. There's some kind of kindred spirits, and this lesson that you all went through was something that your higher selves agreed upon. Okay, so now back to the differentiation, for those nasty karmics, that were specifically someone not disrespecting divine feminine, because you're adults. For someone who's disrespecting a child, calling the child a bastard, keeping this divine masculine from his child, the one who is I'm not leaving without a fight, that is a true karmic that caught up in the 3D matrix and is just here to get in the way, right? But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about in the dream where the divorce took place, and this karmic energy just kind of bowed down gracefully. Were they hurt? Yes. Were they upset? Yes. Were they disappointed? Yes. But they stepped out of the way and bowed down gracefully. This is not a true karmic. This is actually another divine being that part of the agreement that they came to earth was that this was the lesson they were going to embark on, right? And this is actually a divine being that, like I said, is just operating in karmic energies, okay? Because the relationship, right? between this karmic energy and this divine masculine was like literally always off, right? It was always off. This is like a type of karmic energy where, like, because I had a dream once, and this was months ago too, where like this karmic and this divine masculine were just constantly, I mean, this karmic was like so consumed with divine feminine. This karmic was with this masculine. They were married, they had their house, they had their kids, they had all these things going for them, and this karmic could not get divine feminine off her mind. Like she continuously kept asking divine masculine, like, what's going on? Are you sure there's nothing you need to tell me? Like, what is it? Like, I'll understand. Can we talk about it? There's something that you're keeping from me. And it's because deep down, you know, whether divine masculine did not want to admit it, divine feminine did not want to admit it, but deep down, this karmic energy knew that these two people loved each other. She knew that. She knew that she may have been the one he chose, but deep down, she already knew that she wasn't the one he chose. She was the one that he settled for. But she knew that deep down, both divine masculine and divine feminine wanted to be together, right? But this person stuck it out, fought it out, most likely for the kids. Like I said, a lot of these scenarios, you know, the kids are involved, and a lot of people tend to stick things out for the sake of the children, right? But I'm getting like this argument or this discussion between this karmic energy and divine masculine about divine feminine happens so often that it was like a broken record. It was to the point where divine masculine like got tired of having to, and for someone, this might actually have something to do with the breakup. Because literally in one dream, divine masculine like just up and walked away because he was so tired of having this same conversation over and over. He's like, look, I picked you. I'm here. Like, what more do you want? Right. And it just became this huge source of frustration. But that's only because deep down, that karmic energy knew. She knew. And what she really, really wanted at the end of the day was this divine masculine to just be honest. You know what I mean? Like, some people actually do just want the truth, even though it's ugly, even though we know it's going to hurt us. Some people out there would rather have the ugly truth than a pretty lie. And that's how I know that this karmic energy was actually a divine being masquerading or operating, in a karmic energy, because this is someone who most certainly wanted the ugly truth over a pretty lie. So, you know, the marriage ended, and the important thing for any karmic cross watchers to know is that, like, the marriage ending is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And that was like the beauty. That was the beauty of the rebirth of the karmic, you know, in the dream that I had. It was the beauty of it because, yes, she was hurt, and yes, she still has to go through her healing and her mourning period. When I say because in the dream it was a feminine energy, but like I said, these are still energies. Energies can be exchanged. Energies are not necessarily genders. But this person had to go through their healing period, and when they did, they came out so much better on the other side. Because guess what? In this particular scenario, yes, this individual was a karmic energy in that marriage, but it turns out this karmic energy is actually a divine feminine in the reunion, or in the divine union, that this person is actually supposed to be in. So it really like what song is that by Tupac? Like, keep your head up, ooh child, like things are gonna get easier. Like, that's the song that I'm hearing right now, because things might start off hard, but eventually it's going to get easier, and you're going to understand. And once you heal, once this karmic energy heals, once you go through this rebirth, you as well have blessings. Like, there was this one dream where there was a karmic and a divine feminine, and the divine feminine was actually going to drop her child off at this karmic's house. And even though the karmic and divine masculine were no longer together, both women recognized that, hey, our children are still siblings. So there's no reason why the children have to suffer. So like literally, the divine feminine goes to drop her child off at this I'm gonna say like a past karmic, because in the dream she was no longer a karmic, she was actually now a divine being. So this divine feminine goes to drop her child off at this rebirthed karmic's house, and this, you know, she's saying like, hey, look at my new house, like let me give you a tour. And she went in, and like the house was beautiful. It was one of those houses that had like, it had a kitchen with like the built-in dining area. It had like what do you call it, like the kitchen, but it also had like an eating area. It also had a formal dining room. It had a family room, and it had a formal living room. In the upstairs, every kid, there were like 3 kids in this scenario, every kid had their own bedroom, plus, you know, the rebirthed karmic, she had her own bedroom. The house was, it was like Christmas time, right? Now I'm hearing, we'll be having fun. Another golden sun, like Christmas in Jamaica. Here we come. Somebody might be traveling to Jamaica for Christmas. But anyways, it was Christmas time, and there was like snow on the ground. And as they're doing the tour, the kids are outside, like riding their sled down the hill, having a fantastic time. And like literally this karmic is talking about how happy she is, how great things have turned out, you know, for her, and how all these blessings have came her way. Because guess what? That marriage, that union, not only was holding down divine masculine from his blessings, but it was also holding this karmic energy from their blessings as well. So like, you're not the only one that's losing out. Everyone in this scenario, when you're not healing, when you're not operating in love, when you're not operating in your divine energy, everyone was losing. So even though this person was hurt at the beginning of the ending and the separation, they ended up being so blessed and being better off for it, and being even happier in their new relationship and with their new life. So when I tell you like this healing, this reconciliation, this rebirth is going to bring about great blessings for everyone, okay? Everyone. Yeah, I am literally at the point in my journey where I realized that everything we go through is meant to teach us something, right? I am at the point in my journey where I'm no longer judging or being judgmental of other people's actions and things that they've done, because I realize that literally everything we go through is meant to teach us a lesson. The whole point of our souls coming down here to earth is to learn, is to grow, and is to evolve so that we can reconnect and become an even higher and more evolved version of our higher selves, of our true selves. And as long as we continue to do that, then anything that we've done or been through is irrelevant. It's irrelevant, right? As soon as you heal from it, it is no longer relevant to your journey. I think that so many people out here are afraid to resonate with the karmic energies, and because like tarot is so popular. It's so popular on YouTube. And I think so many people are afraid to resonate with the karmic energies in these stories, because the karmic energies are always frowned upon, and there's always such nasty things being said. But like at some point in your journey, and if you're just being completely honest with yourself, no one's perfect. At some point in your journey, you were the karmic energy in one of your relationships, right? At some point in your journey. So the reason that you're not that anymore is because why? You learned from it, you grew from it, you knew better, you do better, right? And that's just the same trial and tribulation that these karmics are going through. Some of them are not going to learn their lesson, and they're going to be forever stuck in that loop. But for the ones that do, they're out here elevating, and they're out here trying just like the rest of us are. Right. And really, it's beautiful, because if you think about it, it's all a beautiful story. It's all a beautiful story. Right. But anyways, y'all, this has definitely been more than long enough. So for anyone that took the time to listen to this, for anyone that this resonated with, I thank you so much, because I know this was a long one. And without the graphics, without the tarot cards, and with all the extra, like, people tend to get bored and not like resonate with it as much. But for anyone who does, I just want to say thank you, right? Thank you. But anyways, y'all, that's going to be the message, not even for today. That's going to be the message for this week. I do have another thing that I do want to record later this week, but that's definitely going to be the message for now. I hope you guys enjoy the full moon on the 23rd. Anyways, thank you for listening. Bye.